Head northwest on Harlington Road west towards Roslyn Avenue, then turn right onto Roslyn Avenue. Take the next left onto Helen Avenue, then turn left onto Harlington Road west. Continue on A312 for half a mile.
To have regional targeting for months, and the UK's only just begun it, and there will be questions asked about why it's taken so long when the travel industry, as soon as Spain was put back on the no-go list, they said, well, hang on, have a look at the infection rates in Minorca, in Lanzarote, they're tiny, we cannot tar everybody with the same brush. The government said we have to, now they said we don't have to.
Simon, thank you. Simon with us for the hour. If you've got a question about travel arrangements, and boy, you might want to know that it is a perplexing situation, constantly changing, and there are 4 different facets around the United Kingdom. Simon is your man.
In 300 yards, slide right onto Causeway A312.
On these constantly changing travel arrangements, does this island policy make sense to you? Do you trust the government to do the right thing when it comes to travel? And if you're in the business, we know that
Take the next right onto Causeway A312.
travel for many weeks and was devastating, not just directly to airlines, but to the entire travel industry, and that includes people driving cabs.
Continue on A312 for 1 mile.
All of that. That devastation continues despite the fact that some flights have come back. If you're in the travel business, what is it you need? 0345 6060 973, and you can text 84850. The news headlines now. Here's Tim Humphrey.
7 Greek islands have been added to England's quarantine list as the government announces a new island-based policy. Plans to deploy one of Britain's new aircraft carriers have been delayed because of a COVID-19 outbreak on board. A 15-year-old boy has suffered critical injuries after being shot while walking to school in Suffolk. On the weather, some clear spells over Scotland tonight, otherwise cloudy with rain on the western coast and hills, and a low of 10.
LBC Travel, I'm Anne-Marie Walsh. A couple of things on the M25. Clockwise, there are 3 separate breakdowns between Peckham Lane services and Junction 6 Boston. The inside lane is closed. It is slow moving on the approach. Also clockwise is queuing from Junction 22 at St Albans towards 24 past Spa, and that's because of roadworks there. Victoria Road in South Ruislip remains closed both ways between Eastcote Lane and Long Drive following an accident, and on the trains, Great Model exclusions and deposit restrictions may apply. Free post for credit.
Call Eddie Mayer 0345 6060 973 LBC.
Have a painting party, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Turns out, Prosecco and paintbrushes don't mix, and you can't always trust your friends to decorate your house. Thankfully, at trustatrader.com, you can find plenty of vetted, reviewed, reliable professionals in an abundance of trades. Like a painting pro, minus the Secco. After all, friends are for painting the town, not the walls.
Help keep everyone secure by keeping track of your visitors with 360 ICT's Proximity Contact Tracing System. Proximity Contact Tracing is a tool for helping to manage COVID-19. Our tracing system uses your Wi-Fi infrastructure to track the movements of visitors and employees on your premises. It's precise and efficient. So learn more about 360 ICT's Proximity Contact Tracing System. For more information, visit 360ict.co.uk.
We got it at Selco. Selco is where the trade goes. At Selco Builders Warehouse, we got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In September, we've got a 4.32 square metre pack of Rockwool 100mm sound insulation for only £48.95 ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com. Selco, serving the trade for 125.
In a quarter of a mile, at Wagoners Roundabout, take the second exit onto the Parkway A312.
Xero is the beautiful alternative to your old accounting system, providing a real-time view of your business cash flow. And because it's kept securely online, you can manage your business finances from anywhere. Your accountant can even log in so you can both work on the same set of accounts at the same time. Purchase Xero in September and get a free set of headphones, a printer, or a coffee machine. Visit xero.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Many lenders use experience credit data to look at potential borrowers. But what exactly...
Exit the roundabout onto the Parkway.
Thankfully, you can...
Continue on the Parkway for 1 mile.
The key becomes the looker. You looking at them, looking at you. Look at that. And if you don't like the look of your credit score, look at ways to improve it. To look at your free credit score, look up experian.co.uk. T's and C's apply.
This is LBC with Eddie Mayer. Call 0345 6060 973.
Travel abroad has been a much more complex business as a result of COVID, and it's just become more complicated. New rules announced today, which have direct implications if you plan to come back to England from 7 Greek islands. And Grant Shapps, England's Transport Secretary, announced a new island policy, which means that in future we could see several islands in Europe having a different COVID policy when it comes to flying back to England to the mainland. 0345 6060 973. Do the travel policies around the UK make sense to you? If you're in the travel business, how on earth are you coping? And have you got a question about where all of these changes leave your travel plans? 0345 6060 973. Caroline has a question from Simon Cole. Hello, Caroline. Thank you for your patience. How are things?
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto the M4 slip road to Heathrow Airport, M25.
Lithuania, Latvia, Iceland, some really small countries. And so basically, you're not allowed in at all. I was just wanting to ask Simon, is this going to be like from a long time, or do you think because high season, it starts on November the 1st, they're going to change it to get the peak season started? Because Emirates at the moment aren't even flying there because Dubai's not on their welcome list, and we're booked with Emirates. But if you go on the Emirates website, you can book in advance. You can book for the 29th over to go to the Seychelles, but at the moment you're not allowed in.
All right,
Exit the roundabout onto the slip road.
First of all, I'm really
In a quarter of a mile, merge onto M4.
hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people, you simply cannot look forward to your holiday because you've got no idea if you'll go on it or indeed whether you'll need to self-isolate when you come back. All I can say is that 7 weeks is a long time in the era of coronavirus and travel. Now, just suppose you were going to be allowed in, you wouldn't need to quarantine when you come back because you'd be transiting through Dubai and just setting foot on UAE territory, or indeed the airport floor, means that you are able to 2 weeks of self-isolation.
Continue on M4 for 3 miles.
In the next 7 weeks, and this Seychelles, which is so tourism dependent, is almost certainly going to expand the list of possible destinations where you would want to travel to. I mean, every country, particularly tourist dependent ones, have this decision to make, which is if we get to a zip, we know someone will come in bring coronavirus. We operate in order to see if we can business more in the middle. What happens today is wait, and really in 5 weeks' time, things will be a little bit clearer. But can I just ask you what you did? Because there's a parties all roughly a year ago, this year, and you're in competition. Except that I'm sure that everyone's will be flexible and just say that we'll do for 2 days later and we will be right. But I think you're in a slightly stronger position than given that you have maybe numbers and they are perfectly straightforward. They give you lots of flexibility. So what I say is just give us a call back in October and we'll see how it's looking there.
Send us a postcard and we'll be well. Thank you. 445 Simon Paul with us for the hour. Steve, you're just back from Italy, I believe. How was it?
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on M4. Keep right to stay on M4. Continue on M4 for 6 miles.
Just a moment. Also, several listeners say Dean Ed Glasgow's one, Alex Morris
miles, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central. Quarter of a mile, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central. Exit at junction 6. Quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit on 2 Tons Lane, A355.
System say will catch the vast majority of people and reduce quarantine to something more bearable, because the other systems where they say, oh, we'll let you write off for 10 days. Frankly, if you've done 10 days, then you're probably prepared to do 40, and most of us will probably say, actually, I'm not in for 10 or 40.
Although, of course, getting a COVID test leaving airports to one side is proving fiendishly difficult for some people. We spoke about this on Thursday night, and while some people were able to report a fantastic system with easy to get a test, easy to get a result, others said they had to go without or were advised to travel hundreds of miles. I know it's something Ian is talking about at 7 o'clock. Sorry, Simon.
Oh, well, no, I was just going to say, I mean, for travel purposes, testing is not something, I mean, if anybody is feeling remotely symptomatic, they shouldn't be...
Exit the roundabout on 2 Tons Lane.
Have I got coronavirus? Because if I do, then I will obviously self-isolate.
Continue on A355 for 1 mile.
And I might be able to end quarantine early. Similarly, with countries like what we heard from Caroline, as they showed demanding a certificate in advance, you cannot use the NHS testing centre. You're going to have to go off and find a local one. Costs anything from about sort of 60 quid upwards, and present that when you get to a destination country such as Cyprus.
All right, lots of people want to talk to you, Simon. Here's Linda. Hi, Linda. Thanks for your patience. How can we help?
Linda calling from Scotland. I have a son who's been working in Bangkok for many years, and I haven't seen him since the 31st of December. And I'm just wondering if there's any sign at all of the airspace opening up. I know that the death rate in Thailand is very, very low, and I'm just wondering when on earth I'm going to see my son again.
It's a good question, Linda. Thank you.
Well, Linda, and look, I'm first of all really, really sorry that you're in this position. As you say, Thailand has the most extraordinarily good record. They clamped down very early, very effectively, and the last thing they want, with the greatest respect, is you kind of going in there. I imagine, or the last I checked, there are some flights coming out of Thailand, and that would allow your son to actually travel back to Scotland.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
If he wants to go back in, because he's working out there, then they may well say, well, we actually don't want you to come back in because you've been in Scotland, and that's got far higher rates of infection than we have, magnitude of about 100. So there is no easy answer, I'm afraid. There's nowhere I can even suggest that you and he could kind of go and meet as a neutral third country. It's very, very tricky, and so many people. I mean, Australia, New Zealand, because they may not have any visitors going in until maybe halfway through next year. It's terribly sad for so many people.
Linda, thank you. Good luck with it. Steve Onsford. Hi, Steve. How can I help?
Hi, well, we booked a holiday some time ago, before COVID, to Mauritius. In effect, it was two parts. It was going to be a holiday, but it's all a bit of a damp squib now. But the first week, we were going to help out with a dog's charity, and then we were going to carry on to a nice hotel and spend 10 days at a lovely hotel. Play a bit of golf out there as well, so it was all going to be great. So we subsequently had to book our flights separately, obviously in order to do the first week, the charity week. However, a lot's happened since, so I just wonder what the situation is with regard to a potential travel insurance claim, with regard to the money back on the flights and potentially the holiday as well. I've looked at the Foreign Commonwealth Office and they're advising on essential travel out to Mauritius. The dog charity, as a result of COVID, is not running that week now. They're not running until next year. So now we've got to find additional accommodation for the first 7 days as well, which normally I think it's great that parent wants. However, obviously COVID puts a different slant on everything. So where do I stand?
Simon.
You've got, I'm afraid, a really messy situation here, of course, because you've basically got separate elements, and that means you're not covered by the package travel regulations, which would normally step in and say, well, look, it's all really straightforward. Either the holiday goes ahead as you expected it, or it doesn't. You're not in that position. Which airline are you booked with? Because I may be able to help with their particular policy.
Okay, it's British Airways. So at the moment, obviously they do a potential refund, but they seem to be leaving it very, very late. Like we're going to be going out around about 4 weeks, so it's basically creeping nearer and nearer, and we haven't actually heard anything.
Right.
Well, you won't hear anything. I can pretty much guarantee you for another week or two. It sounds to me, if the flight is the main concern, it's going to be very, very straightforward. What you do is you get your you can be, I would say, 80%, maybe 90% sure that British Airways is going to cancel that flight to Mauritius, because, frankly, otherwise it's going to be flying an empty plane. And so, therefore, you can ask them in advance, can I have a credit voucher? But in your position, I would just wait for a week or two, and then they will probably say, sorry, we've cancelled your flight. What do you want? Do you want a voucher? No. Do you want your money back? Yes, please. And you get your cash back. But so many people are in the same position, with airlines not wanting to cancel flights in case there's suddenly a miracle cure, or people suddenly decide we'd all love to go to Mauritius, or indeed so that people will ask for a voucher rather than actually getting cash back. So just hold fire. I know it's stressful. I know it's difficult. I know you've got thousands of pounds tied up with it, but I'm afraid that's all you can do at this stage.
Steve, thank you. And just before news, Simon, if I may, the question I meant to put to you a moment or two ago that Alex and Dean and others have put, well, it's more of a point, really. They're saying, look, there's a lot of talk among travel commentators. I don't think they're accusing you of confusion in the UK and Northern Ireland saying this and Scotland saying that. And they're saying, look, it's perfectly straightforward for most people. If you're flying back into one part of the UK, check the rules.
Yes. I'm sure. Look, absolutely. And that's a perfectly valid point. I think the uncertainty is much more around what's my government, whichever UK nation you live in, which country is
In 300 100 yards, turn left onto Buckingham Avenue.
In the case of Wales and now England, which Greek islands are going to come up in the coronavirus wheel of fortune. So, and the other aspect is that if four nations have got radically different policies on what should be the same issue, well, that's going to raise a lot of questions.
Take the next left onto Buckingham Avenue, then your destination will be on the left.
And the data and everything, because if they're all looking at exactly the same stuff, coming up with different answers, well, who do we believe?
Simon, thank you for now. Simon Calder, back in a moment. If you have a question for him, 0345 6060 973, and tell me what you make of the travel policies around the United Kingdom. 6:47 with a news update. Tim Humphrey.
The government has changed its